concept of the self is one of the most profound and complex subjects in philosophy, psychology, and even everyday life. At the heart of this exploration lies the idea of duality, the notion that our identities are not singular, but composed of multiple layers. One of the most compelling metaphors for this duality is the mask, a symbol for the roles we play, the personas we adopt, and the faces we show to the world. But what happens when we begin to question whether these masks are merely superficial coverings or if they, in fact, represent our true selves? Are we the mask we wear, or is there a deeper, more authentic self hidden beneath? The idea that we wear masks in our daily lives is not new. It has been explored in literature, theatre, and philosophy for centuries. The ancient Greeks understood this concept well, using the word persona, which originally referred to the masks worn by actors in theatrical performances. These masks allowed actors to portray different characters, each with distinct emotions and motivations. In a similar vein, Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, used the term persona to describe the social face that individuals present to the world. According to Jung, the persona is a protective covering, a way to adapt to societal expectations and norms. It is the mask we wear to navigate social interactions, to fit in, and to be accepted. However, Jung also warned that over-identification with the persona could lead to a loss of self. If we become too attached to the masks we wear, we risk losing touch with our true nature. This raises an important question. If we spend so much time wearing these masks, do they eventually become who we are? Or is there an authentic self that remains untouched, hidden beneath the layers of our social personas? Philosophers have long grappled with this question. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that the self is not a fixed entity but is constantly being created through our actions and choices. In this view, the masks we wear are part of our existence, not separate from it. Sartre believed that we are condemned to be free, meaning that we must continuously choose and define ourselves, even if that means adopting different roles and personas. The masks we wear are thus an expression of our freedom to shape our identity, but they are not the entirety of who we are. On the other hand, some philosophies suggest that the self is indeed distinct from the masks we wear. In Buddhism, for example, the concept of anatta or non-self teaches that there is no permanent, unchanging self. Instead, what we consider to be the self is a collection of ever-changing experiences, thoughts, and sensations. The masks we wear are part of this fluid identity, but they do not define a core self, because such a self does not exist. This perspective challenges the notion of duality altogether, suggesting that the distinction between the mask and the self is an illusion. In psychology, the tension between the mask and the self is often explored through the concept of authenticity. To be authentic is to act in accordance with one's true self, rather than conforming to external pressures or expectations. However, the idea of authenticity itself can be elusive. If the self is shaped by our interactions with the world, can we ever truly be authentic? And if our masks are a natural part of how we navigate life, is it possible to live without them? Social media has brought the question of authenticity into sharp focus in modern times. Online platforms encourage users to curate their identities, presenting a carefully constructed image to the world. This digital persona or mask often highlights the most favorable aspects of one's life, creating a gap between the public self and the private self. The pressure to maintain this online mask can lead to a sense of disconnection or even a crisis of identity. Are we becoming the masks we wear online, or is there still a part of us that remains unfiltered and real? The duality of self can also be seen in the roles we play in different areas of our lives. We might wear one mask at work, another with friends, and yet another with family. These roles can be vastly different, leading to a fragmented sense of identity. However, this fragmentation is not necessarily negative. It can also be a source of strength, allowing us to adapt and thrive in various environments. The key is to be aware of these masks and to recognize when they serve us and when they constrain us. Ultimately, the question of whether we are the masks we wear or something more lies at the intersection of self-perception, societal influence, and existential choice. The masks we wear are an integral part of our identity, shaping how we interact with the world and how the world perceives us. Yet, beneath these masks there may lie a more fluid, dynamic self that resists simple categorization. Perhaps the answer is not to discard the masks we wear, but to embrace them as part of the complex, multifaceted beings we are. Rather than viewing the self as a singular entity hidden beneath layers of artifice, we might consider the possibility that we are both the mask and the wearer, constantly creating and recreating ourselves through the roles we play, the choices we make, and the lives we lead. The duality of self, then, is not a contradiction to be resolved, but a reality to be lived and explored, where both the mask and what lies beneath contribute to the ongoing journey of becoming who we are.